Well, welcome back to the action from this opening tie of the Li-Ning BWF Sudirman Cup. China then 3-0 up on India. Of course, they now cannot be beaten in this tie, but it was a close call, wasn't it, in that men's doubles match. Next up, as you can see, it's the women's singles as PV Sindhu tries to upset the odds against Wang Yihan. I'm Richard Kaufman. I'm afraid I've split up the dynamic duo of Morton Frost and Jill Clark, the two world number ones of past days. And I never was world number one, but it's Wang Yihan against PV Sindhu. And this should be an interesting clash-up. Wang Yihan, who didn't actually play any of the games in the victorious last Sudirman Cup for China, up against PV Sindhu. In case you're wondering where is Saina Nehwal, if you haven't read the news, a hairline fracture of one of her toes means she wasn't fit enough to be performing here. A big blow really to India and their hopes of making it through to the knockout stages. Of course, not many really fancied their chances against China, but in their second match in this group, well, you never know. But Jill, I don't know about you, but we've got a young girl here who maybe can get their first win of the day, India here.
Well, I think she's the player that's absolutely in form at the moment, because Sindhu, fresh from her victory here in Malaysia, the Malaysian Grand Prix Gold event. And of course, she also reached the semi-final of the Indian Super Series event, her first ever Super Series semi-final of the year. So of course she is in a great form, there's no question of that. And of course, on top of all of that, at the recent Asian Championships, where I know you were, she beat the former world number one, Wang Yihan. So Sindhu is in great form. But
you're not suggesting to me, are you, that if Saina Nehwal was fit, PV Sindhu would still be out on court?
No, I'm not suggesting that. I think obviously Saina Nehwal, who I think has just dropped down to number 3 in the world ranking, and she has been number 2, but she of course has all the experience, whereas PV Sindhu is only 17 years of age. So of course she's on a bit of a roll, but you're playing against a player, Wang Yihan. She's the reigning world champion. Look at her win-loss record for the year, 10-2. I mean, she's not in shabby form either.
No, she has had a couple of first-round losses in the Korea Open and in the All England, but she has won 2 events this year, the Asian Badminton Championship, where she beat Li Ning, and in straight sets also won the German Open. But interested that she got the nod, Wang Yihan, ahead of her 2 other singles teammates. Could it be, as you can see one of them there in the background, Joe, could it be that because PV Sindhu has beaten the other 2 in the last year?
I think that's probably a very good reason as to why this 17-year-old has found herself up against Wang Yihan, because of course, as you say, I mean, she did beat the Olympic champion Li Ning in the quarterfinal of the China Masters last year, and as we've already mentioned, has beaten former world number 1 Wang Yihan. So she hasn't beaten yet in fact, she's never played against Wang Yihan. So this is a new experience for both these players, but it'll be interesting to me to see how Wang Yihan deals with the psychology of this, because she knows that her opponent has beaten her teammates. She's been selected in front of the Olympic champion. All the pressure is on Wang Yihan. And
especially when you consider the last Sudirman Cup, she didn't get to play. She had to take a spectator's role on the sidelines. Now she has the chance to show Li Yongbo and her teammates that she's ready to step up here. And this is going to be a good test for her, and a really good way to carry on this match, because as an overall match, it's over. It's 3-0 already. Even if India were to win the last 2 rubbers, it really wouldn't matter. But China, of course, have gone through a couple of Sudirman Cups without losing a single match.
No, that's right. But, you know, it is still very important, these last 2 matches within this tie, because when it comes to who progresses through to the knockout stage, if you've won matches within the tie. It's not just a question of who's won the tie or not. It could help you towards qualifying for the knockout stage. So India will be just as keen, apart from personally Sindhu wanting to score a victory over the world champion. It could affect who progresses through to the knockout stage.
Well, a good atmosphere inside this arena. 9,000 it holds. Fair to say it's far from full right now. Of course, when the host nation Malaysia step on court later today, I'm sure it will be packed to the rafters. But this is going to be an interesting clash-up.
India, represented by PV Sindhu. And on my left, China, represented by Wang Yihan.
That's the umpire, Jean-Philippe
China
Burgess.
to serve, love all, play.
So, are we going to see an upset here in the women's singles? That's a perfect start for PV Sindhu.
1 love.
Well, she's not lacking confidence, is she, Jill, given what she's achieved over the last month or two?
No, she's full of confidence. She's loving every minute of it. And of course, we should remember that she comes from a very good pedigree of sporting background, because her father was a captain of the Indian volleyball team. Mother played volleyball as well, so they will understand the sort of pressures. They will have passed on information as to how to deal with these big match situations.
Service over.
And of course, when you're 17, you tend to be fairly fearless anyway.
Well, there's bound to be some nerves out there. It was a good opening point for Sindhu, but status quo has been assured by Wang Yihan here, the last 3 points. Well, Wang Yihan felt that was out, but the line judge has given it in. Questioning looks from Wang Yihan.
Oh, that was plumb on the line. Good call, line judge.
Disgruntled look from the Olympic silver medalist here. But this talented teenager certainly at the moment doesn't look out of place. That's a wonderful smash from Wang though.
Service over, 4-3. Service over, 4-all.
Well, bound to be some nerves, first Sudirman Cup and all that, but in another respect, nothing to lose as well. A good situation to be in. No one expecting anything of India in this overall match, and against Olympic silver medalist, no one expecting PV Sindhu to win, apart from probably herself. She's probably gone out there thinking that she can win, given the fact that she has had some joy against Chinese opposition before. And I think she's shown that in the opening exchanges here. 9 points played, she's won 5 of them. And it seems to me, Jill, women's singles, it seems to be the discipline where there is a number of young, talented players. You think of Ratchanok as well, and one or two others too, where the established order are under threat.
Well, I've been talking about it for a couple of months now, that I think it's probably the most exciting discipline in world badminton because of the emergence of these very exciting players.
I mean, look at that touch there. I mean, it was wonderful.
Brilliant. Players from Japan, players from Taipei, players. There's 5 young, good singles players from Thailand, 2 from India. It is a really, really exciting time. And as you say, I think that China's dominance that we've seen over the last few years is really under threat.
7-4.
Well, it's been an excellent start from PV Sindhu here, establishing a 3-point lead. Early stages, of course, though. And we saw in the men's doubles matches, the underdogs establishing a good lead, and in the end, the Chinese pair did come through.
5-7. Seven.
That's landed in.
Service over. 8-6.
Morton and I were talking about the drift in the Putra Stadium, and that was quite obvious there. Shuttle slowing up that far end of the court.
Yeah, it was in by some distance, wasn't it? But they've sorted the lighting out, because that was a little bit of an issue, wasn't it, in the build-up to this championship. There's a few complaints, but I don't think there's any complaints now. But you get drift in every venue, don't you, Jill? I mean, it's just about judging it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the natural air currents within any big stadium will move the shuttle. The shuttle is so light that any sort of a draft or a breeze, and it does affect the flight of the shuttle. The players are quite used to it. I mean, it's just getting used to it in this particular arena.
Service over. 9-7.
This is the arena where we had the Malaysian Open at the start of the year. I know you've been here a few times in Kuala Lumpur already in 2013, Jill, haven't you?
Yes, I certainly have, but it's a wonderful place to have badminton competitions because the crowd are so enthusiastic, and the crowd are very knowledgeable as well about the sport.
9.
Well, a tight affair so far. The scoreline pretty much reflecting what we're seeing, that neither player yet dominant.
That is well taken.
Service over.
That's me using her height, using her long arms, stretching forward, creating something out of nothing.
Well, we're very fortunate we get to stay in very nice places when we come out to these tournaments. We're in the same hotel as the players, and I was in the gym yesterday, not something I frequent too often, I have to say, and PV Sindhu was in there, and she was, you know, she wasn't overdoing it on the weights or anything, but these girls obviously have to be so fit, and whereas I go there every month or so, she's there every day, I'm sure. it's wonderful for her in some respect that she has Saina Nehwal, you know, as part of a team, obviously not here this week, but you know, someone to look up to and who's kind of shown the way for Indian women.
Service over.
Yeah, well, she's actually been
11,
quoted in the
9,
Indian
interval.
newspapers of saying, "I want to be the next Saina Nehwal."
Well, she has the interval lead here, 11-9 after judging that one right.
I was slightly concerned that she just turned her ankle as she changed direction for that flick serve, but she seems to be all right.
There you are. It's PV Sindhu with the slight advantage at the first interval here.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
Well, obviously Saina Nehwal is a big miss, not just for India, but for
11,
the Sudirman
9.
Cup as a whole. You know, we want to see all the big stars here. You know,
Play.
one or two other names missing, of course, Lindan for China, but you know, her miss is someone else's opportunity, and it really is a chance here for Sindhu this week to further establish herself.
Oh, that's nicely done. Yeah, it is a big miss because I've just
12,
checked, and in fact, Saina
9.
Nehwal is still world #2. So, whilst Sindhu is at a career high of 13 in the world, there is quite a difference in terms of playing top singles for your country. Has gone long as well. Oh, looking a little perplexed.
13, 9.
Misjudgment that time
Service
from
over.
the teenaged Indian.
10, 13.
Just signed a deal with the same management team as Sindhu that belongs with Sachin Tendulkar. And of course, Saina Nehwal is the highest paid sports person in India outside of cricket. And she has obviously got to keep winning matches, but the riches will be there for Sindhu if she can fulfill this early promise.
11, 13.
An exchange that time one by one.
No, that's just wide.
12, 13.
Oh, again, just wide, and a little punched fist from Wang
13,
Yihan.
all.
He's now back on level terms. Not by much, was it?
No, it was desperately close. Now, she may have missed, but that's the sort of thing I like about Sindhu. She's prepared to take opponents on. It's not just a running game. She's got the shots, and in time, as she gets a little older, she will become more consistent with her winning shots. At the moment, a little erratic with those.
Service over. 14, 13.
Well, the general talk, of course, is that this is China's tournament to lose. I mean, they seem to turn up at every major international event, whether it's the Olympics, World Championships, all these team events, this and the Thomas and Uber Cup as well. It's normally China's name right at the very top. But Is it as simple as that for them, Jill? Or is it a case of them here turning up this week and the winnings should be theirs?
Well, the thing about the Sudirman Cup is that it's one of each of the 5 disciplines, and when you look at the top Chinese ranked players in each of those 5 disciplines, it's very difficult to see how anybody can beat them. That said, I can remember a Uber Cup not that many years ago when we said exactly the same thing, and of course Korea beat China in the final. So anything is possible in sport. If you go by the world rankings, they are clear favourites. For goodness sake, they've won 8 Sudirman Cups over the last 9 competitions. So, of course, they were overwhelming favourites.
But, I mean, you look at things like, you know, Lin Dan, maybe Fu Haifeng and Cha Yu are not as, what we call, match ready as they sometimes have been in the recent years. And you've mentioned the women's singles. There's a lot of young talent around that can maybe upset the odds.
16,
Women's doubles, you feel
14.
they're very powerful,
Yep.
very dominant. And the mixed doubles, is there also maybe some vulnerability there or not?
Yes, definitely. I mean, this is the thing. But whether other teams have, you know, I think the thing is about badminton now, it's so important for us to be part of the Olympic Games, and the whole sport has grown. This is a tremendous rally. Needs to improve that backhand though, Sindhu. Oh, finds the line. All badminton has benefited because of the Olympic Games, but
16.
inevitably, every Olympiad, that 4-year period in between the games, is a transition period. And I think that come Rio, we're going to see some big changes on dominance. And women's singles, I think, as we've already talked about, is an area where the Chinese may not dominate.
You look at any sport and, you know, you think the person and the people that are there at the top, they feel like they're going to be there forever. But if you look at the history of sport, it does change. And there's no reason why that isn't going to be the case in badminton. Seeing a terrific match here, aren't we, though? First set here. Each giving as good as they get here. Lovely rally again.
Yeah, it's brilliant rally.
Service over. 17,
Well,
15.
2 points the advantage. It's never been a big lead in this opening set, but Sindhu has pretty much held the advantage ever since coming back from 3-1 down. And now she's 4 points away from taking the opening game, but the points as they get closer to the 21 get harder.
Play.
Clever, really clever. Great angle of the racket.
18, 15.
Yeah, good awareness too. It wasn't just the skill, good vision, good tactical analysis of the situation.
And look at Wang Yihan's body language here as well. I just find that interesting. Ever since that call went out right at the start of the match, she seems a little down on herself. She has the ability to turn around, talking to herself. Well, left this time.
16, 18. Service over. 19-16.
It's a couple long now
Service over.
for Sindhu. Some cheap points given away. Still with the advantage though. Oh, brilliant. And it brings up game points.
Service
Well,
over.
we saw that little hold and
20.
block
Game point.
just a
17.
couple of rallies ago on her forehand side at the net. That time showing that she can do it on the backhand side too.
And 3 game points, 2 of them still to come. One
Service over.
saved.
18-20.
Of course, it was in the Uber Cup last year. Wang Yihan saved 4 match points in the final against Korea. She is mentally very strong, isn't she, Wang Yihan?
My goodness me, that took courage. And it was only a half chance coming forward at the net. Huge commitment, racket arm outstretched to play that kill.
2 down, 1 to go. And we went into extra points in the opening set of the last match in the men's doubles. And Wang Yihan here take it to extra points in the women's singles. No, she can't. PV Sindhu maybe going to upset the odds here. The first set that China have dropped in the 2013 Sudirman Cup.
21-19.
21 points to 19. Well, the teenager showing no fear and halfway to victory and putting the first point on the board for India. It was always a close encounter, wasn't it? But it was always Sindhu who was on top. Wang Yihan digging in. It's good quality opening set.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
So, not on the mind of Wang Yihan. She has just got to carry on where she left off. Not just in this match, but of course in her last couple of tournaments as well.
Second game. Love all. play.
Fresh from winning her first Grand Prix title in this country just a couple of weeks ago is PV Sindhu, about to have a little bit more glory.
1 love.
Dedicated that win to her coach, Putra, who of course has just been talking to her in the interval.
That's nice. Good skill,
Service over.
good deception.
1 all.
You know, we all have to go through things and dedicate ourselves, and she's only a young lady, but it was a big win for her in Malaysia a couple of weeks ago. She played in one other final before, and it was on the day of her sister's wedding, and she had to miss her sister's wedding to play in it. And of course, I think that played on her mind a little bit, and she ended up losing it. It was in home territory in India at the end of last year. She said it was a great relief to get that win 2 weeks ago. Can't be nice to miss your sister's wedding, but I suppose, you know, how often do you play in a final? Come on, Jill,
Service
tell us a
over.
story.
Well, sadly, I missed
all.
my brother's wedding because of badminton commitments. and
Really?
playing
Where were you
around.
playing then?
I was playing in Japan.
Right. And is it because you reached the final, or?
I can't remember.
Well, it would have been. Weddings are normally on a Saturday or a Sunday, aren't they? So.
Well, that's right. He was getting married in Australia anyway.
Service
So.
over. 3
Shame didn't have a tournament in Australia that week. But that's some of the sacrifices you have to make, and obviously she's already made one at a very early stage of her career.
four, 2.
Sacrifices or choices, Richard?
Well, it is a choice, I suppose, but you know, what do? You say, oh, I'm not going to play this final, I'm going to the wedding.
3,
I mean,
4.
is there really a choice there?
No. I mean, the fact is, any sports person in any sport, I'm sure, I mean, the whole reason you play, you live for those occasions of playing a final and, you know, the opportunity to win titles. There is no question. Of course you'd play the final.
You know, there has been the odd talk of, I remember there's been golfers who have been leading
4,
major
4.
tournaments and their wife is due to give birth. I remember it happened to an English golfer, Ross Fisher, only a couple of years ago, and he said, you know, if she starts giving birth, even if I'm leading, I'm going. That's quite rare, isn't it? Not too many sportsmen or sportswomen maybe would have that kind of mentality, you know, especially on the cusp of winning a major.
Yeah. Oh, that's... Oh, it's caught out.
That
Goodness me.
Five.
Yihan looks
4.
to the umpire for maybe an over, or that was, well, from where we were sitting, it looked in, but the line judge could have got it right. We'll see. I think it might have bounced in, right, and it bounced actually out. Oh, yes, one of those, and of course one of those might not happen soon. They'll be able to go to the referral system, of course. Wang Yihan there would have said, I'd like to use my first referral.
4.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks away from seeing that, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be tested at the Indonesian Super Series event.
Are you in favour of that?
I'm in favour of technology when, sadly, we do see some calls that are most definitely wrong, but the number of calls we see that are desperately wrong are very, very few and far apart.
It is true. I mean, I have to say
7,
the standard
4.
of line judging is absolutely fantastic, but why not put some power into the players' hands? If they're, you know, really feel dead sure that the wrong call's been made, give them a chance to test it. It's going to put the service judges and the line judges under a bit more
Service
pressure, I
over.
suppose.
5.
I mean, the
7.
whole point of technology is to ensure fairness. because you want the right decision to be made. That's why, at long last, football have decided they're going to have goal line technology. I'm all in favour of ensuring that the right decision is made in the end. But I think in badminton we're very, very lucky in that I don't think there's many occasions when the... Oh my goodness, she got the back!
That was brilliant.
Service over.
No fear in the young, eh?
5.
Just playing her shots here, isn't she? I think she'd almost given up. Oh, there's the shuttlecock. I might as well knock that one back. She's established a 3-point lead here, already taken the first set.
Service over. 6, 8.
There's the real weakness, glaring weakness as far as I'm concerned in Sindhu's
7,
game.
8.
Hasn't yet developed the backhand enough. Every time she's caught and she has to turn and play that backhand from deep in court, always plays herself into trouble. It's an area she's really got to work on.
What a lovely rally this is. And what a shot to win it.
Eight, all.
Yeah, it really was fabulous. All 4 corners of the court, both ends of the court being explored by both players in that last rally. Yeah, he's very much singles tactics. Use all 4 corners, try and get your opponent out of position before you go for the winner.
Nine,
It's clever play. Champion. Power play. And a delicate little block, having made her way towards the net. On a run of 4 straight points, going to the lead.
Yeah, she needed them, didn't she?
Oh, goodness.
Did she hit the net there?
Well, I'm not sure whether
10,
no,
8.
the umpire did call a fault.
Yeah, I think she caught the net.
And the shuttle was on her side.
Well, the question is, did she take the shuttle before it had crossed over the net and she hit the net? A fault
Yeah.
on 2 points
Yeah.
there. Well done, umpire. Good umpiring.
It's given out. It's long.
Service over. 9, 10.
Some big points coming up here, isn't there? For Wang Yihan. That's wide.
10, all. Service over.
Well, it's tight, isn't
11,
it?
10,
It's
interval.
another tight set, this. Which way is it going to swing right now? The slight advantage is with Wang Yihan. And she needs to take it into a third and final.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
So that's the state of affairs. Well, she's trying and she's producing
11,
some
10.
pretty good badminton here, Wang Yihan.
Play.
Oh, that's a pity.
12.
Had the
10.
opportunity. Didn't need to hit it that hard.
Oh, and that's just wide as well. Just not quite going away at the moment,
13.
Sindhu.
10.
I think the problem is, and she got called a fault for hitting the net just prior to the mid-game interval. And now she's just holding back on those last two attempted kills. And that's why she made the errors. Oh, that's perfect, Faye.
Service over. 11, 13.
She certainly seems the one on the front foot at the moment more. Sindhu.
Yeah, this is what really impresses me about her, I have to be honest, Richard, because you know, she's an adventurous player. She's got lovely skills, just like that.
Yeah.
She's not yet
12,
consistent enough
13.
with her skills, but that will come in time. What's very difficult is to teach a young player new skills at the age of 20. She's already got the skills, age 17. What she needs to develop now, backhand, first of all, and also as soon as she gets a little bit stronger in the legs, if you watch her, she moves very well, but because she's such a tall athlete,
14,
getting down low
12.
and changing direction is a little bit of a problem for her. When she's got a little more strength in the legs, she is going to be a top 5 player. There's a bold prediction for her.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, she's already shown players in the top 5 that she can ruffle their feathers. As she's doing here. Wang Yihan establishing a lead in this second set.
15, 12.
Yeah, 10 of the last 14 points going Wang Yihan's way. Shift of momentum, definitely. Yeah, that's landed in as well.
16, 12. $17, 12.
Well, looks like a decisive move here from Wang Yihan in this second set.
Shuttle.
Once again, a discrepancy as to whether the shuttle should be changed or not.
Service over.
Oh my goodness.
13,
almost
17.
got his shoelaces caught in the net there and almost tripped over. Look at the skill of that net shot from Sindhu. Wonderful play.
Fourteen, 17.
To 16.
Oh, that's just out. She's had a few of those in this set.
Service over.
She worked the point so well.
18, 14. Service over. 15, 18.
Oh,
Correction
sorry,
in.
judge. Oh my goodness me, I think the umpire has overruled the line judge.
Service
It
over.
was called wide.
Correction in. 19, 15.
I'm not sure we'll see it from this angle. My instinctive reaction was the shuttle was indeed wide, but it's been overruled by the line, by the umpire. Well, that could prove absolutely crucial. Roll-on technology.
Service over.
Well, there you go. That pretty much
16,
answers all our questions, doesn't it,
19.
really? The umpire, though, he had a great view of it, let's be fair about it. He's sat directly above where the shuttle landed. And it's game points
Service
for
over.
Wang Yihan. Chance to level
20,
things up.
Game point 16. Play. Game.
Well, it's one set all. Wang Yihan fighting back.
Second
21
game
points
won
to
by
16.
China. 21-16.
So we're heading to
One
a
game old.
third and final set in this women's singles clash.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
That was a big call, wasn't it, from Jean-Philippe Berge in that last set, but he wouldn't have overawed if he wasn't short. They've already been out on court for 43 minutes.
One.
Now, of course, the first three-setter in this opening match in this Group 1A of the 2013 Sudirman Cup.
Love all. Play.
Of course, it's Indonesia who are the third member of this group. Round robin, top two teams go through. India, well, supposedly the whipping boys of this group, but well, the men's doubles put up a good fight in the last match, and well, Sindhu here with everything to play for in this third set, but Wang Yihan certainly showing a little bit of class. Just wide. She's throughout this match tried to play her shots.
Three, love.
Oh, perfect start for Wang here. And ahead in the match now, Jill. And I'd love to see her not going on now.
Love.
Yeah, just watching the last couple of rallies, and I think that the pace of PV Sindhu has just dropped very slightly, and it's actually having quite an impact on the rallies. Wang Yihan able to dictate the pace. Yeah, she wasn't able to do that in the opening game, especially.
Five, love.
Of course, Sindhu has been playing an awful lot of badminton of late. There'll be an accumulation of tiredness.
Yeah, she probably thought she was coming into this week. She was going to put her feet up a little bit as well. She's off the mark in this final set.
1-5.
But of course, no sign-up. She is the one and only women's singles player in the India squad.
Service over. 6 1. Shuttle. Service over. 2-6.
There you go. Gotcha.
Service over. 7-2.
Well, for a set and a half, it was very tight. It's a case now of Sindhu here trying to dig deep, trying to close the gap. You have to play shots like that.
Service over. 3-7.
She's got a very good attitude, though, for a player so young. So many youngsters, when you're playing against a current world champion, you think you have a chance, you've taken the opening game, had chances in the second, come the third, and you're just too dispirited. They sort of give up and sort of, you know, I've blown it. But Sindhu keeps in there fighting, and she keeps looking for ways, looking for opportunities.
4-5. Correction. 4-7.
She's got huge potential.
Yeah, the umpire 4-5, you said originally. I think Sindhu would like to be stuck with that one, but he was right the second time. It is 4-7. Excellent.
Service over. 8-4.
Bided her time.
9-4.
Wang Yihan worked the rally until she got the short lift. That's the opportunity. That's the one to go for the winner.
Play. Service over. 5-9.
Questioning look from Wang Yihan, but I think this was a right call.
Yeah, just wide.
Close the gap, can she?
10.
After that 5-love lead at the start of this third set, Sindhu's been unable to erode that advantage for Wang Yihan. Powerful display it's turning into from Wang Yihan.
Interval change and
No panic from the world champion to going a set down, and now she's 11-5 up in the third and final set.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Coach.
Well, it's a long way back here, isn't it? Wang Yihan here, very much in command for the first time in this match.
Play.
No.
12-5.
I know that, of course, she missed this shot, but this is the sort of thing I like about Sindhu. She was in trouble. She was having to take the shuttle late in her forehand corner, and yet she tried to do something really different with the shuttle and drive it across court. It's going that way.
13-5.
Yeah, I think she probably thought she'd won this point. Great stretch, wasn't it, from Wang Yihan?
Well, I think that's 6 errors she's made coming forward to the net with attempted pushes or kills since she was called that fault. Called that fault in the second game, of course. Sindhu. It was a correct call. Oh, that's nice.
Service over. 6-14. Play.
Powerful, wasn't it, from Sindhu?
7-14.
Well, she's already shown in these fledgling days of her career that she can mix it with the best, and she's certainly done that here this afternoon in the Putra arena. Wang Yihan done enough, do you think, to maintain her position and
7.
as the women's singles player for China?
Well, she's looking very much as if she's on the way to doing the job today. I think that China, though, will pick their women's singles player depending on the opponent. They're so strong. They've got so many good women's singles players. But as we were discussing earlier, the fact that Sindhu has beaten the Olympic champion, beaten the former world #1 Wang Yihan, this was a specific selection for a specific opponent here.
16.
And they have the luxury
7.
of mixing it around.
Service over.
Still not given up yet.
16.
No, coming up to an hour on court now. Still playing her shots. Still trying to battle back. 8 points, of course. The huge gulf right now. Well, that's excellent play from Sindhu. I mean, Wang Yihan
9.
had no right to get 1 or 2 of those back,
16.
but did.
Ten. 16. Service over. 17-10.
Well, she was on a little bit of a run of points there, PV Sindhu, but stopped there by Wang Yihan, and now she's just 4 points from victory and putting China 4-0 up.
Well taken.
Service over. 11-17.
Stands her ground at the net. Beautifully just rolled the shuttle over the tape.
Service over. 18-11. Nineteen, 11.
Well, credit here to Wang Yihan. Backs against the wall, set down under pressure. She is producing fine badminton. And now she has a number of match points.
20, match point, 11.
Well, she saves one of them with
Service over.
another display of
12,
what she can do.
20. Thirteen, 20.
Well, it's hardly heart-fluttering
14,
moments, this, for Wang Yihan,
20.
but Just prolonging things here, a little Sindhu. What a way to win the match. She was given a real fright. She was made to fight by the talented teenager from India. But Wang Yihan emerges on top in a thrilling women's singles match. And I think this final point, Jill, just about summed up what we saw.
Yeah,
Match won by China.
Rally.
19,
The refusal
21,
to give up
21,
on
16,
the youngster,
and 21,
and the
14.
experience of the current world champion, just grinding her opponent down. But my goodness, she was pushed all the way.
Yep, three-set thriller, which Wang Yihan takes 21-14 in that final game. 4-0 then to India, again, to China against India. One rubber still to play. So China 4 to the good.